You're watching OnFire-TV.com, featuring news, interviews, and entertainment. Broadcasting from Radio On Fire Studios in Baltimore, Maryland, here's your host, Diamond K.
Thank you at home for joining me. You made Diamond K in here, of course, the Diamond K Show on OnFire-TV.com. You know, I hope everybody had a great 4th and all of that. It's not what it used to be. Let me say that. It's not what it used to be. We have so much going on. And, you know, I didn't want to start here, but I might as well, right? Okay, so I talked about the 4th, and the mass shootings really overshadow the 4th. I mean, it's really insanity when you think about it. 4th of July mass shootings leave 20 dead, 126 people injured. Wow. I mean, it doesn't get crazier than that. July 4th gun violence across the country. The U.S. seeing record number of mass shootings halfway through 2023. So like I said, the 4th of July is not what it used to be. Not what it used to be. I mean, we could just go over like a partial list of shootings. It is crazy. So throughout the first half of this year, the U.S. has gotten no reprieve from the epidemic of mass shootings. It's an epidemic. Now, it doesn't even matter where people are. No one is safe. Right? So we talked about mass shooting. So what is a mass shooting? Mass shooting is where 4 or more are injured or killed. As of this day, today, July the 5th, the Gun Violence Archive has counted more than 330 mass shootings in the country. July 2nd, here in Baltimore, 2 people died, at least 28 others injured at a block party at a public housing development in South Baltimore. So we had that, right? Many of those wounded teenagers, just kids. So a couple days before that, in Hollywood, Florida, at least 9 people wounded. In Allen, Texas, on the 6th, there was something there. Atlanta, Oklahoma, Texas. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on. Of course, in Philly, Pennsylvania, there was something. I mean, it is always something. So the 4th of July always has been a dangerous time of year. Because folks just, want to, let off. And it's one of those times where you hear so much clapping, you don't know the difference between what. July 4th and July 5th have the most mass shootings of any days of the year. I don't know if you knew that or not. So I said in Philly, also in Fort Worth, over the weekend in Baltimore here. It's not uncommon around the 4th of July. So the mass shootings is something that we have come to, expect, come to it just seems like nowadays the gun violence and the mass shootings, it's just something like somebody just dropping an album. People just kind of, we're desensitized to it in many aspects because we hear it so much. Now, over nearly the last 10 years, there have been more than 50 mass shootings on the 4th of July, more than any other calendar day. Now, the second most frequent day is the day after, July the 5th, today. Now, I don't know what we're going to do about this. I can't forget Ohio, in Akron, Ohio, 4 people injured in a shooting just after midnight on Tuesday. And in Edgewood, Maryland, 3 men and 1 juvenile suffered non-fatal injuries as a result of a shooting on Tuesday afternoon. Well, this is about 28 miles outside of the city of Baltimore. In Shreveport, Louisiana, 4 killed, 7 wounded. 11 people shot, 4 of them fatally last night, July 4th. In Lansing, Michigan, 5 people injured at a party around 2 a.m. Hayward, California, 5 wounded, 5 people shot yesterday. As I said, in California. Today, 9 people injured in Washington, D.C., including a 9-year-old and a 17-year-old suffering non-life-threatening injuries just before 1 a.m. I mean, it just goes on and goes on and goes on. Since 2014, only 4 dates have seen mass shootings in the double digits in a single day. 3 occurred over the 3 most recent July 4th holiday weekends in 2020, 2021, and 2022. Yeah, something has got to be done. We've got to get into the psyche of folks, trying to get people to understand that, shooting somebody is not always the answer. Take a quick break and we'll be back right after this. We'll talk about these layoffs at ESPN. I'm going to talk about the Essence Festival and some drama back and forth about that. You listen to the Diamond K Show on ONFIRE-TV. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Your man Diamond K in here. So, have you been someone who has cut the cord? Cut the cord. What do I mean? I'm talking about you're not watching as much cable TV as you used to, right? You want to see things on demand when you are ready, right? Well, that is what's going on. And the effects of that are what? There are effects. Over at ESPN, there have been layoffs. Layoffs of, I don't know, top tier talent. Folks that you have come to see and watch online and on the shows. ESPN laying off over 20 talent, like, high level folks you weren't even expecting. Stephen A. Smith, I think he's nervous too. Because here's the thing. There are more layoffs coming. ESPN, you may know or you may not know, ESPN is owned by Disney. And so when you have a corporation like that, they are always trying to please their shareholders. That's who runs the places, right? So what we have is a big corporation, and Disney makes a lot of money. But at the same time, a place like ESPN, with the cord cutting, they may be stretched too thin, and they're just not. They're not doing what they used to do as far as getting. A corporation like Disney, Bob Iger in control over there. Corporation like Disney is going to look at an asset like ESPN and say, we need to make the shareholders happy. So what does that mean? That means that they're going to be laying off some of these big contracts, not renewing other contracts in a way to cut costs. So ESPN let go around 20 on-air talents as the network is undergoing several rounds of cost cuts. So that means, of course, folks getting laid off. And there are a lot of people that have been laid off. Even some that are not, big names. So everybody over there is nervous. Now, what's ironic is that somebody like Pat McAfee, who just signed a big contract over there, just brought his show over there. And then you turn around seeing other folks like Keyshawn Johnson being let go, like Jalen Rose. And like I said, some 20 on-air talents cut. Some folks been there for 25 years. Max Kellerman, somebody's been there for a long time, enjoyed. A lot of these folks can get other jobs, right? A lot of these folks can get other jobs. But you got some veteran folks, veterans that have been let go, and no one is above being cut, and a couple of various reasons. But at the end of the day, it comes down to profits. I mean, that's what it comes down to. It comes down to profits. These folks were cut because the bosses over at Disney felt that ESPN was not pulling its weight, so they had to do some reorganizing. They wanted to make some cuts, and it is a channel, an entertainment and sports programming network that is owned by Walt Disney and the Hearst Communications Company. Now, it's a joint venture, as I said. ESPN has been around since 1979. 1979, headquarters is in Connecticut. So, what does this mean? Does this mean that ESPN's going off the air? No, not at all. Not at all. But as I said, a lot of folks that have been there for a long time let go. And, that is the breaks. That is how it works in this industry. A lot of those folks, and let me say this, they have let a lot of people go. I don't think that they are done. I think that there are more layoffs to come. More layoffs to come. Stephen A. Smith said yesterday that he could be next. This is true. And I'm glad that he has, said that publicly. I'm glad he said that publicly. Nobody is above anything. All contracts are made to be broken. You think that they ain't got a way out of this, paying him all that money that they're paying him? Oh, they do. They do. And so the future of ESPN, they're going to reorganize. I'm sure that they're going to continue to downsize and change some things around and all of that. But I think that the outlook is very grim over at ESPN. Things are going to continue to get worse before they get better. We have to deal with this reality that this is not the end. I think that ESPN that we have come to know is not going to be anymore. If you look at the radio stations, the terrestrial FM radio stations wherever you live, right? Let's think back a couple years ago. Let's think back when they had a local morning show and a lot of shows that you knew the people, like they were from the community. That's changed. A lot of these shows now on FM radio, terrestrial radio, are syndicated, meaning that they're recorded and transmitted from somewhere else and just beamed in because they're trying to save money. They didn't want to pay that local team to come in. In some instances, you may have a local morning show. Some instances, a lot of shows are syndicated so they can cut the cost And ESPN is trying to cut costs. So your radio stations, your local radio stations did the same thing, cutting costs. Right? And so advertising is down, viewership is down. They got ESPN 1, 2, 3, 35. It's just a whole lot, very thin. It's like the mall in your neighborhood, in your city. That big dinosaur now. Back in the day, it was popping. They didn't reorganize. It looks like a ghost town usually. Any mall in this country looks like a ghost town compared to what it used to be. Got to reorganize. Got to keep up with the times. So many people at ESPN have been bracing for when Disney announced that it would be cutting 7,000 jobs in March. So it's not only those 20 top names, personalities that you know, producers, hairstylists, all kind of folks. 7,000 jobs. Everybody associated with ESPN knew that this day would arrive. Many folks probably hoping it wasn't them. But, you know, like I said, one of the faces, Stephen A. Smith, one of the faces over at ESPN, not dismissive of the fact that he could also be on the chopping block, especially considering he and ESPN already separated once nearly 15 years ago. Yep. He said this, Stephen A. Smith said that I could be next. This ain't 2009. I really didn't see it coming. My eyes are always wide open now. Referring back to 2009 when he was blindsided. Now he's saying that he's expecting anything. So I think that is important. Some of these folks are going to go to work for other networks, but it is very important for them to continue to build their brands, to continue to be a commodity and not something that is expendable. Not something that's expendable. So I hope that all those folks over there land on their feet. It is important to be nimble. It's important, you know, when you got all this red tape trying to get moves made, it's better to be scrappy and small, especially in these economic times where you don't know whether recession is around the corner. And that's something that folks are thinking about as well. But the shareholders and the constant desire for profits every quarter are a big part of why ESPN is going to change from what we know. And ESPN is not the only company that's doing this. There are other companies that are cutting. Netflix has cut jobs. You're going to see a lot of companies, channels, networks, media, properties cutting costs, laying folks off. You're going to see it. You're going to see it a lot more. And, people are in fear of the future. Wow. Definitely let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok at The Diamond K Show. Of course, I am here weekdays, 6 p.m. And do this, take a quick break, and we'll be back with more of the show after this.
Looking for food that feeds your soul? Hoodfellas Bistro and Catering is your local African-American owned restaurant offering American cuisine. Located across from the courthouse, we offer daily jury specials to reward civic duty. Enjoy our full-service restaurant and fully stocked bar. Dine in, pick up, delivery, and catering. Our themed happy hours feature live music, handcrafted drinks, and weekly specials. Book your private event at hoodfellowsbistrocatering.com.
Welcome back. Your man Diamond K in here. Of course, the Diamond K Show on Fire TV, ONFIRE-TV.com is where you go. So a tradition of the July 4th weekend we've come to know is the Essence Festival. And I've had family members and friends go to Essence. I have not gone to Essence before. But I was very tempted when I saw that Meg Thee Stallion was going to be there. But like I said, I have not been. Every year about this time is going to be some people complaining, crying, and whining about what happened or what didn't happen at Essence. So I was very surprised to see India Arie, veteran singer India Arie, complaining about Essence Festival and others. She wasn't the only one. Let's look at some of this stuff. So somebody said on social media, the Essence Fest is officially for the new generation. Looks like we need to create our own celebration for the mature and classy ones. And Essence responded to this and said, so inclusion of every avenue does not mean exclusion of your needs. Hate to see you go, friend. And so, social media is one of those things. So the Essence Festival is, I don't know what folks, think that it's supposed to be, right? But from where I sit, or as far as Essence, so Essence is this celebration that at least in this year happened at Caesars Superdome, June 29th through July the 3rd. And according to essence.com, the Essence Festival of Culture presented by Coca-Cola is the preeminent experience of all things Black. And this year will be one to remember. Okay. So according to Essence, according to the creators of the festival, the Essence Festival of Culture is the preeminent experience of all things Black. You understand? Did they hear me in the back in the cheap seats? All right. Let me say that again. According to the creators of the festival, the Essence Festival of Culture, presented by Coca-Cola, is the preeminent experience of all things Black, and this year will be one to remember. Okay? So I don't understand what the hoopla is about. They were in New Orleans, right? A lot of folks down there, concerts, and they had a global Black economic forum. There was a lot of things to do for a lot of different folks. Afro punk, they had concert series, they had a ball. It was all nice, right? Except for when it wasn't. Beauty Con, they had authors. There were a bunch of things. Food and Wine Festival. They even had something for men. I didn't even know that. They had an Essence Family Day. There was an Essence Film Festival, Essence Wellness House, the Creators House, a Kickback, Village Voice. There was a whole bunch of stuff. They had some big time sponsors: Coca-Cola, AT&T, L'Oreal, Target, Disney. Whole bunch of things going on. Yet you still have some folks on social media complaining. Let's go to another one of these comments. All right. Someone said, no disrespect, but I'm definitely disappointed. I grew up on Essence, and I thought there was a standard of Black excellence. I still don't understand why nudity, twerking, etc. has to be named culture and displayed publicly. I'm a mother of multiple girls, and it's disappointing the amount of sexual behavior and that it is being pushed publicly. I'm so tired of this, someone else says. It keeps ruining our image. Wah, 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 wah. Back in my day. You know what I mean? Somebody else says that, I don't know. It is one of those things. Somebody else says, wait, hold up. I thought Essence was about excellence and uplifting. Somebody else with an opinion. Essence responded to them, "Black has no boundaries of excellence. Do you see the form here? This is excellence across every human endeavor. Thanks." So the thing about Essence is that they've handled this criticism with class. It doesn't matter what you do. You cannot please everybody. Somebody's always going to complain about something. So Essence handled this, I think, well. And, pretty much it would be the average thing. But then India Irie just became so upset. Maybe I'm overstating it, but she took the stance of the back in my day kind of argument. So you may have seen this on social media of my girl Meg performing at Essence this year. All right, so that's a part of her performance, and that is the type of dancing. And we posted on the Diamond K Show on Instagram. We posted a clip of Meg dancing, and like I said, some folks upset and her showing her twerking skills, and so she had like a twerking class like up on stage, like giving girls lessons and people dancing, having fun. I don't see the problem. For all those back in my day, folks, y'all was up there doing the butt and or doing the butterfly or Tootsie Roll or whatever old dance back in the day. Y'all was doing that. So let's not even, you know what I mean? Let's not even go with the hypocrisy too far. But in India Irie, Miss Brown Skin, she said, and it's always somebody trying to school everybody else, right? So India Irie said that the issue is, what is context? Humanity does everything, but does everything belong in a stage? No. Is everything for kids? No. Is everything for everybody? No. So when we as a culture make something like this mainstream, it shows a lack of discretion and discernment. To those in the comments who laugh at anyone who wants these things for our culture, you certainly have that right. Just as many folks have the right to want our mainstream international export, our music, to show us in a respectful light. I'd like to go on the record saying this won't age well, and that's my issue. I love Janelle and Meg the way I love us all, and I don't like this moment. Don't bother debating me. I don't care to do this. For 25 years, I've done this, and so read, ponder, or don't. All right, so she is calling, she's calling out, and she, India Irie, is the aficionado. She's the expert. She's the one who tells everybody what to do with regards to the Essence Festival and how we are supposed to conduct ourselves in public. Right. Definitely. Somebody else said, or whoop, there it is. Right. Back in the day, though, so India Irie, so she's been doing this 25 years, and yeah, she had the brown skin song, and she's had other songs, and yes, so she's a very, she's a soulful lady, and she's like neo soul kind of thing, and I get that, right? I get that. I understand that, but if this is, everything is not supposed to be what India Irie's generation wants. Essence Festival, per the creators, is supposed to be a celebration of all of Black culture. And here's the thing, India Irie and other folks that feel like that culture has grown and has expanded to include things that are different from what you're doing, and you're not supposed to shun that. You don't want the elders shunning what you were doing 25 years ago, right? But now you're going to turn around and do it. And just because it's not your thing doesn't mean that it's not supposed to be done. Oh, so it's irritating. It's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing that we have a generation, my generation, that's judging the generations behind us. We're supposed to be setting an example, not hating. What Indy Irie is doing to me is hating. It's hating. And I don't think she means to be hating. And she is completely welcome to hate. I mean, to give her opinion, right? She's completely welcome to do that. I wonder if she would give her opinion. I saw this as well. I wonder if she would give her opinion to Jill Scott. Oh, Jill Scott's nasty. What? Roll the tape. Jill Scott.
Right now, ladies and gentlemen, close your ears. Well, ladies only. Close your ears and listen with your vagina.
She called her bass player Reverend Dr. P. Whisperer. That was pretty nasty. She told the ladies to close their ears and listen with their twats. That's what Jill Scott said. She's another neo-soul legend. I'm sure that Indy Irie ain't going to have nothing to say about Jill Scott. This has come down on a generation that's younger than you. And that is whack. That is whack. I think that is whack. So, no one said that Essence Festival was this celebration of stuffed shirts, and no, they trying to have fun. They're trying to party in New Orleans. It's a lot of things. And if that concert ain't for you, there were other events and other things that you can go to that may be more in tune with you. But that doesn't mean that the young folks are supposed to be dancing to your music or doing the stuff that you're doing. And it doesn't mean that one of the biggest rap artists out right now, Meg Thee Stallion, can't get up there and do her thing as she should. If I remember correctly, when Indy Irie was a young artist, she was hating on Lil' Kim and those kind of folks too. Seems like she would have been doing that. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok at The Diamond K Show. Of course, ONFIRE-TV. Last thing on this topic, I want to salute Essence and the Essence Festival for doing what they've been doing for many years. Essence is one of the most profitable things that the company puts on. And I want them to continue to handle it the way they've been handling it online. I think it's been good. And continue to keep this platform open. And, you know, I just think that I think it's a good thing. And, you know, folks are going to say what they want to say, and that is fine. There's nothing you can really do about that. But I want people to be more understanding of, you know, artists and music and things that you may not gravitate to, but you got to respect it and understand that everything ain't for everybody. Welcome back. You made Diamond K in here. Of course, the Diamond K Show on ONFIRE-TV.com is where you go. Weird story out of Maryland. I don't even understand what's going on here. Check this out.
A very strange incident in Waldorf. A man is charged after police say he stole a forklift and then used it to run over and kill a woman. Investigators believe Bryce Brown broke into a business, stole a forklift, rammed it through the rear gates of the business, and then drove it about a half a mile north to a Home Depot, where he allegedly rammed a car parked in the parking lot. 73-year-old Gloristine Pinkney of Waldorf was asleep in the car at the time of the collision. Police say she got out of the car, began running, when Brown followed her in that forklift, ran her over. Investigators do not believe Brown and Pinkney knew each other, and the investigation is ongoing.
Yeah, this is the kind of stuff that is just enrages me. No reason for any of this foolishness. So this man charged with the death of this 73-year-old woman, and he's 20 years old. Bryce Caleb Timothy Brown, 20 years old, from Waldorf, and he is charged with first-degree murder, second-degree murder, assault, theft, and other charges. This took place at the Lowe's on Crane Highway. Had the burglary. When they arrived, the suspect was already gone. Investigators say that the suspect broke into the business, sold his forklift, rammed it through the rear gates, driving it, and rammed the vehicle of the woman, now identified as Gloristine Pinkney. She was asleep in her car and tried to get away, was unable to get away. Police canvassing the area found her body beneath the forklift. She was pronounced dead at the scene. Investigators say that they did not know each other. So after running Pinkney over, Brown allegedly fled in her car. Investigators developed Brown as a suspect, and he was arrested at his home Sunday evening. Pinkney's car was found near his home. Brown is currently being held without bond. The investigation is ongoing. Complete and utter lunacy here. Complete and utter lunacy, foolishness. I hope that dude still gets whatever he got coming. And yes, that's Denise Richards still there. Okay, yeah. So you old school. You remember her from back in the day. Definitely. Anytime you miss any episodes of any of our programs, ONFIRE-TV.com is where you go. For any music submissions, business info, contact me, djdiamondk at gmail.com, djdiamondk@gmail.com. Of course, you miss any episodes of this program, you go to OnFire-TV.com, hit Diamond K, and catch up with episodes and the such. So another thing that I wanted to get into, and I just thought it was weird. Okay, I just thought it was weird. You had this, for those that remember, we talked about this story. This is the guy here. He is now deceased, but he punched the mother in the face, and his funeral just took place. So there was a GoFundMe for him and all of that. But his funeral was a spectacle. His funeral was a spectacle. And some folks that are I don't know, we saw this, and online it caused a little bit of controversy, and you've had folks going back and forth about it. But it was Jeremy Brown. His family and some of his friends sported a Knockout King t-shirt. You can look right here, you can see Knockout King t-shirt. Okay. And as I said, this guy who is deceased was killed after punching a woman in the face several times. So the attendees at the funeral, as I said, wearing this Knockout King t-shirt, many folks were outraged. 32 years old, from Chicago. Funeral sparked controversy as they wore this. So if you remember, he was shot and killed by the 14-year-old last month. And, he died from 3 bullet wounds in his back. So family and friends trying to act like he was some kind of a hero. Here, if you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook, you can see this photo. But if you're listening on Apple Music or Spotify, they have a cardboard cutout of the deceased and Jeremy Brown, and this girl is twerking, on the cardboard cutout. That's what kind of party this was. So photos from the funeral started floating around on social media last week, and I meant to get to this story last week, but I did not for some reason, and I just wanted to take a moment to comment on it. The family and the friends receiving this backlash online. I mean, it was tacky, no class. They were glamorizing, the family and friends were glamorizing his abusive behavior, calling him the knockout king, talking about he had knocked out hundreds of people. Well, here's the thing about that. He tried to knock out this woman, Carlisha Hood, hit her 3 times, didn't even knock her out. He didn't even knock her down. That was the last punch that he threw. So this is the casket here, and you can see what kind of party this was, right? You can see what kind of party this was. Nothing cool about that. Nothing cool about that. The knockout king. Wow. All right, so before we get out of here, I wanted to touch on this. And at Harvard, they are saying that AI, artificial intelligence, is going to teach at this school. The university has unveiled the plans that they're going to have an AI chat bot teach computer science. What is the world coming to? This is crazy. Very interesting. Students are enrolling in a computer science 50 at the Ivy League school next semester. They're going to use AI to help them find bugs in the code and other things. So as artificial intelligence experiences this boom, and AI-powered tools like Chat GPT or Google Bard are expanding around the world, education systems have been considering how they can incorporate this new technology into the curricula and how they can catch up with the students who are using AI to get ahead. So they want to try to catch some folks that are cheating and all this stuff. So starting this fall, students will be able to use AI to help find bugs, give feedback on the design of student programs, and explain unfamiliar lines of code or error messages and answer individual questions. So this is going to be something interesting. See, back in the day, I mean, I remember when some students would bring an apple to teachers, and I definitely, that is not something that is going to work with these robots. This is they're getting someone to pay. Like, what is I don't know. I sense that what they talked about in many movies is slowly coming to be. Slowly coming to be. So, are you tired of the lies? Are you tired of people spinning facts? Well, join me weekdays at 6 p.m. on the Diamond K Show as I unpack the top news stories of the day, whether it's politics, entertainment, social issues. I will give you nothing but the truth. Get the Diamond K Show daily on YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, Facebook, Twitter, and of course, ONFIRE-TV.com. It has been fun. I will be back here tomorrow.